Hi, everybody. I want to speak to the salespeople today, and the topic is making follow-up calls. So I'm making some assumptions here. Number one, you prospect. Number two, you're using the phone, at least some of the time. Number three, you have conversations with people that don't lead to appointments, but they're still promising. They match your ideal client profile, and they're open to hearing from you again in the future. And you're tracking this stuff in your CRM. So maybe it's a month or 2 or 3 or 6 months after the initial conversation, and now you have to follow up. I do a lot of training on this subject, and I find it's a difficult one for many salespeople because they just aren't sure what to say. They kind of know generically what they want to say on a first call, but after they've already had a conversation, what do they do next? It's important to make those follow-up calls, to be diligent about them, and to also have a different approach than what you used the first time. I think there's 4 different categories to consider. The first category is you spoke with them, you found some pain, but you don't necessarily have an agreement to speak with them again. In this case, you have to go back and reiterate what the pain was, the problem that you identified in the first place, and why you weren't able to set up the appointment. Another situation may be you didn't find any pain and you didn't get any sort of an upfront agreement for a follow-up call. This is going to be harder. It's going to be a lot more like an initial cold call. The third scenario is that you didn't find any pain whatsoever. There's no problems, but you believe it matches your ideal client profile and you did get agreement to touch base with them. So in this case, you're building relationship, and perhaps you're dripping on them in between with your email newsletter, your social media. Maybe you're occasionally sending down an article that you think would be of interest, and you're just hoping that at the second, third, fourth conversation, something might warm up. The fourth situation is the ideal one. You found some pain, you did get an agreement to call back, but for some reason you couldn't get the appointment. Here you may want to try a different approach, a different call to action, inviting them to some kind of an event or offering them something of value to be able to further the relationship. 4 different categories of follow-up calls, but you have to give some thought before you make the call to what your approach is going to be. Hey, thanks for watching today. I appreciate it. If any of this was helpful, send me a message. We can set up a time to talk, see if I can be of help to you, and I'll talk to you again soon. Thanks for watching.